Welcome one and all to John and Mike's MMA Corner.
MMA from a different angle.
And before we kick off with obviously our usual saga of laughter and seriousness, professionalism, we're going to start by asking you all to jump onto Facebook, Twitter, the lot really, the social networking sites, and give some of our esteemed colleagues a follow, because their hard work really helps not only us and yourselves, but just MMA grow. So first up we have
MMA Scotland.
We'd like you to also jump onto UFC Wreckage on Facebook. Their Twitter handle and their website is MMA Wreckage.
We also have MMA UK, and their Twitter handle is We Are MMA UK.
Jump on to Facebook to Fighting and MMA.
We also have on Facebook and Twitter The Real MMA Talk.
And last but not least, they're on Facebook, they're on Instagram, they're on Twitter. Can't miss them. If you like a giggle, you like a laugh, jump onto Funny MMA, kind of putting a light-hearted view on the aspects of MMA and the goings-ons.
I thought it was serious.
Exactly. So that's what you want to jump onto. Now what we're going to do is jump straight in to this week's edition. This week has been quiet in a way of no recent events
It's
apart
the
from one.
calm before the storm, though, isn't it?
Well, that's what I was going to say. It's all kicking off now. Now, when UFC Dublin kicks off this weekend, but then it's not just UFC Dublin. It's the events that follow after it in November and December. It's almost like
It's a big run-up,
it's a
isn't
big
it?
run-up of events.
And do you know what?
It's quite
Those
exciting.
paddies keep a blimmin' foot in the door with all of it, don't they?
They do, and it's exciting time. So I'm quite buzzing about this whole.
It is. It's like I
This whole scene.
I honestly believe that the last quarter of the season.
Oh, it's best so far this
It's
year.
gonna
This
be-
year, it's top. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
If-
it's been a
if-
good year. It's been a good
But
year.
if the fights don't
Live up.
if no the fights don't fall,
Yeah.
because there's been a lot of fights fall.
Well, yeah.
In general.
Well, to be honest, some of
Big
these fights
fights.
are only happening now because they didn't happen before.
Yeah, but I mean big
Through
fights like the
other reasons.
Miocic Ben Rothwell fight getting
I
called
know, I
off.
was glad about that. That
You
was
know.
a fight to watch.
That
And
was.
you know what? It is a loss to Dublin.
It
They-
is.
They are losing out. there.
That is a big loss to the card. And
do you know what's a shame is just that Ben Rothwell didn't just fight someone else.
he had
But-
offers, and
I
Matt
know.
McDrew was game as anything, but Ben was like
Matt
not
McDone's
interested.
always game. I know, it's a shame. It
So
is a shame.
that was a bit.
Because
Of a
it'd have been
bugger.
lovely to see Ben on
It
the
would.
card.
It would just
Yeah,
been
for the Irish fans now to have like legit heavyweight turn up on the scene.
good heavyweight contenders. But now we've got
Yeah, it
To-
is what it is.
suck it up and accept that it's not happening. But now we're going to talk about what's going on this episode. All right, this
So,
edition.
what have we
this
got?
podcast. We're going to talk about the World Series of Fighting card that just happened, and interlinked with the World Series of Fighting card we're going to
Yep,
have.
we have join us, Nick Newell.
Nick Newell's going to join us to talk, yeah. And then we're going to go and talk about the Bellator card coming up, Bellator 144. Then we're going to mention UFC Dublin. A little touch on that card coming up. And why... Oh,
Well,
we're going
we
to talk
have-
about that card.
We have Scott join us.
Yes, we have Scott Askham join us. And he's taking on Jotko. Now, we're going to have a little roundup at the end. We have a little chat about some bits that's happened.
So we ran through our phone book.
Yeah.
Who do we have? You know, who normally comes in at sort of last minute to help give us some shits and giggles?
Mr. Ian McCall joined us, and he came on for a 10-minute chat, and we're going to stick him on at the end with our roundup. Now, let's start off first with World Series of Fighting happened this weekend. And do you know what? For World Series of Fighting, it was a great opportunity for them, because there was nothing else on, really.
And to be honest, we've given them a bit of shit in the past. But do you know what? Not a bad card, and a good time to have a card on.
It was a good time to have a card on. Now, you had the return of Patrick Walsh, who got cut from the UFC after missing weight abysmally. He fought at heavyweight, won a decision. He weighed in at 224 pounds, and his opponent was 240. So
He's normally a flyweight, isn't he?
exactly. So, Patrick Walsh got back to winning ways with that fight. But then you had Vinny Magalesh versus Matt Hamill.
Yeah, he decided to get rid of things quite quickly.
Beautiful knee bar by Vinny Magalesh, I have to say. Beautiful jits. And that was, the thing was, Matt Hamill, he's a very good wrestler, but when he gets to the ground, Vinny Magalesh is a high level submission.
Yeah,
So that was where Matt Hamill would fall on that pot. But Magalesh, he gets a win. He'd probably end up, World Series of Fighting, we're trying to push him into the title shot, kind of thinking that.
He's a name and
Yes.
he's excited as well, so it would make sense.
Main event was John Fitch versus Yushin Okami. which wasn't the most exciting fight. I think the biggest part about that whole fight was Okami making 170, because he is a monster at 185. So how he made 170? I was going to say
he's a big middleweight.
Yeah.
So to make welterweight
but he didn't look his normal strong self, and they think it's a cut. Everyone believes a cut was probably too much.
They even said that John Fitch gave away the first round because he probably didn't believe that he had the strength to deal with him, which maybe he did have.
I think everyone else probably thought that.
But let's be honest, right? John Fitch, he didn't do anything that we didn't expect. You know,
No.
he that's what he does, and he's one of the best at doing that.
He is a grinder. He will just grind you away, and you just can't stop it.
I mean, let's be honest. There's only been a few people that have actually worked out John.
Yeah.
You know, and those people have been legit.
Those people being champions.
Yeah.
They're
Definitely. And
John Fitch is almost like a Scott.
He's
ONE FC welterweight, used to be Bellator welterweight champion Scott. I can't remember why I cannot remember his name. I think it's Scott Askham, but it's not Scott Askham. Who is it? Ben. Curly hair.
Ben.
Ben Askin.
Askin, yeah.
So Ben Askin, sorry, John Fitch is like a Ben Askin. So, in a way, of Ben Askin's maybe a bit more of a finisher, but
to be honest, John Fitch could, if he'd been a UFC champion in his career, I wouldn't have been surprised. It's just that he came up a couple of times against. I mean, it was only the best in the UFC that beat him in the UFC.
Yeah, it was.
And that guy went on a run.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? He was like a marathon runner. He's the run he went on.
And then he got caught. I think Dana White was jumping at the chance to cut him, but then he's wanting to do his fighters union and stuff, and John Fitch is wanting to do a lot. And then John Fitch recently came out and said that he thinks that fighters should be free agents to sign with whoever.
I tell you what, as in a business sense, no promotion is going to do that, because obviously if they uncover a fight of interest, they want to keep hold of that.
Yeah.
Because it's
money.
It's a golden egg laying goose. You know.
But I quite like it.
But as a fan,
I love it.
Or even as a fighter, you know what I mean? Because if you can take your commodity, which is your fighting style, if all of a sudden you realise you're entertaining, then you can then start to gamble with other promotions and
they have
not gamble, negotiate.
Yeah, so you have the leverage then. Yeah, because you're the prize.
And you can say,
you say, I'll fight your best guy now.
Well, a promotion then also buys a fight.
Yeah. Yeah,
exactly. Because your opponent as well that comes to the equation.
I quite like it.
Yeah, and do you know what? All fights can be made.
I love the idea that you could get those question marks of certain fighters in certain weight categories and certain promotions crossing over like just for one-off fights.
The one that came to mind straight away, which kind of strange, was the Randy Couture Fedor, because they could have just said, "Look, I want to fight you. You want to fight me. We can do this anywhere where we feel we're suited."
Yeah.
You wouldn't have to be in the UFC. Let's be honest, you'd have watched that wherever it was.
Yeah, you would.
You wouldn't have cared what you said on the cage.
It'd be amazing. No.
Yeah, it's the fights you want to see. It's not the promotions, it's the fights.
I love some of the things John Fitch comes out with, and that was certainly.
But the thing is, doesn't help his career.
It'll never happen.
It'll never help his career. No. He says what the fans should be screaming out, but no, it's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. So don't sort of think that it will.
One fight that happened on the card, it was a homecoming fight, and it ended up to be his last fight.
Yeah,
biggest shock of the weekend.
Yeah, he goes out. We're talking about Nick Newell. Now, for anyone that doesn't know, shame on you. Nick Newell is. Let's cut to the chase.
It's a handicap fight.
I don't like the word handicap because it's not a handicap for him, but it is for.
No, it is.
For anyone else who would find it a handicap. He has one arm. He does very well with that one arm.
Yeah.
And he's won all of his fights bar one. Mm-hmm. He's held a title before. Mm-hmm. And he did all right at wrestling as well. Anyway, he fought at the weekend on World Series Fight. Won on points.
Won a decision, and shocked the world.
And then turned around and retired because it seems that his body is just not being able to get through the fight camps. It's like he's always injured. He was saying that he's basically doing a rehab instead of a fight camp.
And he comes on to explain that a little bit more, and also talks about his future plans as well. Not what he's wanting to do outside the cage, but still involved in the cage in a way.
Yeah. He's not walking away from the sport. He's just not. Removing his body from the sport, as in the competing sense.
So here he is for you, Nick. You're speaking with us now after making a big decision. I think it is for anyone to call it an end on their career, especially with a sublime record that you have, a winning career that you have got. And obviously you described it as it was just time for you to stop, and you explained how you weren't gifted with the certain aspects of certain ways of going in the sport, and you had to work hard for it. You've had a couple of days after the announcement. Have you had an abundance of attention? Obviously you've got attention from us as well. Have you noticed the people talking to you about this?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people have said some really nice things about me. I didn't know people felt that way about me, and the impact I guess my career has had on them, and I think that's really special. It made me actually kind of sad, and but it also made me really happy, that I was able to do that. The outpour of people reaching out to me, and the replies have been mostly positive. Some people, don't want me to and think I have a little bit more left in me, but my body really disagrees with that. It's been rough. These past 3 training camps have been really, really hard on me. I mean, I've had injuries in the past, but they just keep reoccurring. And when one thing, and I spend most of my training camps doing rehab. So, I spend most of my training camps doing recovery stuff instead of actually training for a fight. I think that is time to take a step back and reevaluate what you're doing. And for me, it's time to start focus on some other things in life that are going to help set up the best future for me.
I think it's a very brave decision. I think it's if you believe it's right, then it is right, because you're the one that has to get up in the morning with the aches, pains, niggles, the stress on the body. Only you know this. And I think for a fighter to go out on their own terms after leaving a very big mark on the thing, because let's be honest, I can remember, first hearing about yourself, and when you first started coming on the scene for us over in the UK, it was around the same time that Vitor was starting to look a little different, shall we say. Vitor Belfort. I was questioning Michael Bisping about it, and I was saying, you have people in such situations. The 2 people I used was yourself and come on, what's his name? No, Def.
Oh, Matt Hamill.
Oh yeah, Matt. Yeah, it was yourself and Matt Hamill. Now you have hindrances, shall we say, on what you can do, and then you got someone like Vitor Belfort who just wanted to. It wasn't cheating at that time because testosterone was still legal, and it sort of really brought it to my attention that some people just get on with it, their issues, and then you got some that just a totally different approach to life, that where they'll just keep looking for that shortcut, keep looking, and I thought you were very inspirational back then, and ever since. So it's and more so for me because I've obviously got my own problems, and it sort of helped me to see people, in sport that do crack on regardless, like yourself.
Yeah.
Hello?
Fighting, yeah, sorry, I was getting a call, actually, from my mom. And, fighting for me, is something that I started doing because it's fun. I didn't do it to prove anything to anyone or impress anyone or be cool. And at this point, I'm putting myself through hell just to make it to a fight, and it's not fun anymore for me. you know, if my body still had it and I could go get through a training camp without, you know, like 4 or 5 pretty bad injuries that keep me from training, then yeah, it probably would still be fun if I could perform to my best. You know, it would be fun, but I'm not the type of guy that is going to pump myself full of steroids or something like that just to feel better, just to fight. You know, I take pride in being all natural and not doing stuff like that, and I'm going to be not fighting for a lot longer than I'm going to be fighting, so I'm not going to mess my body up with something that's unnatural. For me, you know, it's important to me that I perform at my best, and I just don't want to give people a watered down, half-assed version of myself because I can't train for fights.
Yeah.
Then that is the right decision, then, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I'm just curious. You say about obviously the injuries. Did you not think maybe about taking, say, like a year off, just taking a year off break maybe from just like the intense training, any competing, just to kind of recuperate your body to maybe see how you felt after a year? Was that something that maybe you thought about, or is it just you kind of thought I just want to stop now?
I don't know. I've just been competing for so long. I mean, I started competing when I was 14 in wrestling, and I never stopped. I'm 29 right now, you know, so, and I'm almost 30, so that's 16 years straight of competing, and I'm talking about I didn't even take summers off. I just kept going every year. So I had like a 16-year career in combat sports, in my opinion. You know, and it's just been rough, and I just want to take a step back. I don't want to be like, oh, well, if I compete in a year from now, and then I have that on my mind, and I start training for that. Clean break, things going, and set up my future, and then go from there. But it's going to be hard to train for a fight and compete at a high level once I start doing the things that I'd like to do.
Got you.
No,
and throughout your like, if you think back to the very early days, how have people's perception been? Like, you know, when you first said, I don't know, to your family, friends, etc. You know, I want to get into wrestling, etc. You know, what was their first sort of ideas? Have you normally had people telling you that you shouldn't, or encourage you to go for everything in life? You know, I don't know how things been for yourself.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. My friends and coaches and everyone do it. And I was, you know, I started fighting when I was 22, and, you know, I was just crazy. Never, like, really got into street fights. I was always a nice guy, so I was, like, super excited to fight, and I get fired up every fight and want to go out there and well, and everyone that knows me told me I could, and, you know, I mean, obviously you got your people on the internet that say you can't, but I don't fight to impress anyone. You know, I just did it because it was fun. And in terms of everything, I never really fought for myself in MMA besides to just be the best version of myself. And I don't feel like I'm the best version of myself right now, or like I used to be. So, once that stops happening, you know, fighting just stops happening, and I don't really want to fight right now. So I'm calling it a day. I'm packing up.
Still, you leave a pretty damn good record there, you know, and you leave a good marker for, you know, for. I mean, let's talk about like any other fighter. That in itself is a good record.
Yeah, it
Do you
is.
know what I mean?
Solid, yeah, absolutely.
It's, you know, if you never fight again, you've done better than good in my eyes.
But
you know,
how do you look back at your MMA career, for example? How will you look back at it now? I know it's very early on. You just announced the retirement, but how do you look at it now? How do you feel about it?
You know, I'm okay with it. There's things that I wish I did more of, but you're always gonna have that. Again, I started doing this because I enjoyed it, and I just did it because it was a hobby. So I enjoy that I had fun and I got to meet a lot of people and do a lot of things, and I'm okay with that. And I made a lot of connections and really enjoyed my life to this, and it's a big part of why I'm happy with that. I'm not content, like, completely, but I mean, I feel like I can do about it with the way that I feel physically.
Yeah, limitations. Like kind of like T. Ortiz when his back just gets fused up together.
But do you know what? Find me a fighter that was content.
No,
you
shouldn't.
You could have won 100 titles
Yeah.
at 100 weight classes, and do you know what I mean? And some fighters just never content. They
Well,
always
you've got
feel
Matt
they had
Serra. Matt Serra wanting to fight. If the New York card came through, he still said he would come back and fight. You know, it's just.
You might be a light heavy now.
It might be a light heavyweight in that, but it's just in people's DNA now. Nick, what's your future then? What do you have any particular plans you're looking to make? Is there anything you can talk about now? Anything you can say about?
I think that, I know that I would like to start teaching and open up my own gym and just kind of go from there and just work with whoever wants to work with me and learn from me in the Connecticut area. And then, obviously, just take it from there and see what happens. I'd like to get into broadcasting. I'd love to start working, maybe do some commentary. I've been a very good commentator in the past. My knowledge of the sport is very vast, and I'm very good at breaking down techniques and learning things and knowing things about fighters. And PR stuff. I could also do PR for a league or behind the scenes type stuff. I'm definitely looking to get involved in that and get into maybe some public speaking down the road once I live my life a little more and experience some more things. Definitely that's something that I'd like to get into.
It sounds like you've got a heavy investment still in MMA, which is great. I think it's great that you're not actually leaving the sport, which is always a great thing to hear, Nick.
You're just removing your body. You're not removing your whole self. You're still keeping yourself involved.
Yeah, no, I like it still.
Yeah. You don't have anything negative about it. It's just time for your physical fighting career to end, but you still want to be part of it. And that's same with me and Mike. We love the sport and we love being part of this sport. And for example, I compete as well, and when I finally hang up the gloves, I'll still be doing this, and I'll still be looking to compete and still looking to stay involved in some way. And it's just one of them things you don't have to.
It's exactly. It's like with myself. I'm not totally able-bodied anymore, am I? I'm a bit of a bit of a mess.
You're useless. You're useless, Mike.
But I still try and find the things that I can do, and those things that I can do, I make sure I do. And I'll stay involved any way I can. So I know how you feel in that sort of situation. That as long as you've got like a foot in the door, so to speak, it's all good.
Yeah, and I think, Nick, you've got that. You've been a great ambassador for the sport. I think it'd be crazy for a promotion somewhere to not maybe take you on and give you like a stepping stone, really, supposed, into your career, into the broadcasting, etc. And I really quite look forward to your next stages of your career, Nick. How can, for example, people at home follow the next career, so to speak, the next chapter of Nick Newell? What's your social media links and stuff?
It's at Notorious Newell on both Instagram and Twitter. So Notorious Newell, one word, all connected. And then on Facebook, it's facebook.com/Nick Newell MMA. So all those, I'm real easy to contact. I'm easy to get a hold of. You guys know that. And, I'm just going to go from there and just see where the road takes me.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we will post a picture of Nick on our Facebook page as usual. We'll put the links in. And if you're in the Connecticut area, hopefully in time, Nick will have a place set up and you can all go down there and learn from a guy who's got huge amounts of knowledge from the sport.
And I can only see positive things coming.
Yeah,
I can only see positive things. Because I know to you, Nick, the physical thing is you've lived with it all your life, so obviously you know it. But to other people, whether you like it or not, it is inspirational. And it does give people, self-belief. So whether that's what you want to do or not, it happens anyway regardless.
He's already done it. And
exactly.
Nick, we want to say from our end, from our side of it, thank you for the time and effort you put into coming into the sport and competing and just doing what you've done. Really, it's been fantastic, and you were a credit to the sport. Thank you so much for everything you did.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, massive thank you.
No, our pleasure, and thank you for joining us, and have a great future.
Thank you.
And that was Nick Newell there.
Yeah, if you've never watched him before, you should YouTube the guy.
Yeah,
Some of these fights are exciting.
He's fun. He's fun.
Do you know what? And when you watch him and you think that guy just beat the living shit out of him, and you kind of almost forget that he has only got one arm.
He's a legit fighter, and he did very well in his career. And I take my hat off to him. Honestly, he worked his ass off. Obviously,
you know what? Let him inspire you.
Yeah.
You know, if you're sat there on the sofa and you're finding every excuse in the world not to get off the sofa and do something.
Now
just
we've
watch
got
him.
Bellator 144 coming up this weekend. It won't take that much precedence over UFC Dublin just because it's UFC Dublin, but there is a middleweight belt on the line, as in it's vacant. Brendan Halsey versus Rafael Carvalho is going to fight and battle out. Both fighters are on not a bad win streak. Brendan is 9-0 anyway. He was the middleweight champion. Had it stripped of him when he last fought against Kendall Grove because he didn't make the weight.
That's up.
And then Rafael Carvalho, though, is a man who was on an 11-fight win streak.
It's not bad.
So the two of them are going to collide, and it's actually, I think it will be a good fight. I think Brendan will probably take the win, but I think it's going to be an interesting battle.
Bellator at the moment are only getting stronger and stronger, better and better, and we'll talk about later on about something else that's happened recently. But
it could get stronger.
Fighters will choose to go there.
Yeah.
When their contracts are up, I think you'll see some that will just
opt to go there. Yeah. They'll take a chance.
Yeah, and the more they go, the stronger the promotion gets. And the stronger it gets, the more tempting it is to go there. Yeah. So even if you haven't got to the UFC, do you know what? You'll just say, you know what? I'm going to go over there because that title is now a bit more stature.
And then we've got UK boy Michael Page against Charlie Ontiveros. And all we're going to say is that it's Michael Page. I just want to see another fantastic performance from that man.
I can see him going places.
Exciting as hell.
I can really see him going places.
One hell of a
wherever he goes, I think he's... You know what? Seems to have it.
Oh, love watching that guy fight.
And he's improving fight by fight as well.
I will definitely keep a close eye on Michael Page's fight. Now, we're going to step next to UFC Dublin card. We're going to talk about a couple of the fights on the card.
Excited about this. Yep, I fly out on Thursday, so I'm getting excited.
You've got, let's start off with the ladies. Ladies first, you know what I mean? So it'll always be ladies first. So we've got Erica Almeida against Aislinn Daly.
Yep, local girl. In this division, you've only got to string a couple of fights together, good performances, and you're in line.
Yeah, Daly's 1-1 at the moment, so she's looking to come in with a storm because she was in a house this time last year. So when the Dublin card was on last year.
Yeah, when Dublin last. When the UFC first came to Dublin. Last came to Dublin.
Yeah. She was in a tough house.
She had to watch it on the telly.
Yeah. And Erica Almeida lost her debut on the UFC with a decision. I look forward to watching Poppy Daly get this win.
Yeah, she's got legit skills on the ground. Her striking's getting better.
Yeah, it is indeed.
But her ground skills, very nice. And
next fight is probably going to be a good stand-up battle. It will be John Delos Reyes versus Neil Seery. That's probably going to be hopefully it should be a stand and bang war.
Yeah,
and I think Neil Seery, with the boxing skills that he has, should be able to.
I see him bringing back.
Should pick out a decision on this one if he can't finish him.
Do you know what? I tell you what, I loved his striking in his last fight.
I've loved
even though he came unstuck.
Not his last. I've loved his striking.
But what I mean is even in his loss, some of the shots that he was landing when he came out, I thought to myself, Jesus, you know.
Yeah, he hits hard. But next up will be a guy called Scott Askham fighting Jocko.
Yeah, in the middleweight division, you know, we're missing out on Mr. Bisping at the moment. we have another middleweight to come. I mean, obviously, Bisping's on a different plane at the moment.
Yeah, but as a rising prospect.
Yeah, it's nice to see that we have got something coming through.
But we've got fresh blood because
exactly.
It's not like Bisping's 22. Bisping's at the latter part. He's at the twilight part.
Even if he carries on winning.
Yeah.
He's not going to be around much longer.
Much longer. No. So we got Scott to come and chat to us. So here is Scott for you now. Scott, you're in Dublin. You're in Ireland. It's an incredible event to be at UFC Dublin, it seems, from last year's shenanigans. The kind of build-up, the kind of atmosphere you kind of feel in Ireland kind of builds up. Especially, I would have thought you would have felt it at the airport with the big banners they've got there.
Yeah, we actually went to Terminal 2, so we didn't get to see it. But obviously I've seen it on online. I was looking forward to seeing it myself, actually, but I didn't get the opportunity to see it. Maybe on the way back I'll get a chance to see it. But yeah, you can tell just around the city that it's got that feel about it. There's posters all over. There's got like a big poster with all the Irish fighters on saying they're fighting Irish. It's got a real buzz about it, and it's going to be a cracking event.
And you're fighting Postman and Jotko. Now, for yourself, you've got, after your last performance, which was a rather stellar one, now, do you feel that there's a bit of hype on you now? You've got that kind of momentum going with expectation?
Yeah, you could say that. I felt like I had a lot of momentum going into UFC as well. I suffered my first loss of my debut, which it was a bit of an eye-opener, really. I think I took a lot more positives away from it than negatives. Everyone say that you learn more from a loss, and I never lost, so I never understood it. But you really do. I've took a lot away from it. I've moved camps. I'm a lot better fighter now. I'm a more complete fighter, and I think I deserve to carry any momentum I get, and I'm looking for the same result.
Yeah, I noticed you moved camps.
Just one second.
There's a lot shifting off to TriStar, isn't it? Doing like a 4-week spell or something.
The UK is literally taking over TriStar, it seems.
Yeah. There's a lot. It seems to be over TriStar stuff. It's not something I need to do at the minute. I'm getting everything I need under Darren Morris, ASW, and the team there. Camps are fantastic. I'm in a good place physically, mentally, and I've never felt as ready for each fight. I mean, like I say, I'm in a good place, and there's no reason to mix stuff up. Maybe when I'm like 12 to 14 weeks out, if I wanted to do it more as a holiday, as a relaxed thing, yeah. But I don't think I need to be in that environment, training with new people. When I've got everything I need in terms of training partners and coaches, ASW. And
now with this Jotko fight, if obviously things go in your way, you go in, you get the win. Let's say you get the finish again. It's another momentum builder. Do you think with Bisping having the surgery and being out now, Bisping's the UK kind of middleweight attention. He's the one who gets all the attention. So do you think that's? I think that's partly why, for example, yourself, even at the time when Tom Watson was signed to the UFC, a lot of attention wasn't really put onto them, only because of the kind of attention, the kind of what Bisping really. It's what he does.
He takes most of the British attention, doesn't he?
Do you feel like in the middleweight division now you've got a chance to maybe shine a bit more in your own right, in a sense of getting a bit more of the media attention? You won't go under the radar as much now with Bisping kind of coming to that end stage as well.
Yeah, I don't think they're looking for that next to come through. Because I don't think to let break away from back. Because I'm a fighter in. I don't want to be this fighter from UK who comes into UFC, has a couple of fights, and then he's done. I'm that guy. I'm in this for long haul. I've always said when I get to UFC, I'm finishing my career at UFC. It's never been about getting to UFC, it's about staying there. And like big investors and great fighters, and I want to be on them big cards. I want to be main eventing cards and eye-up cards, and eventually I'm looking to take over.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I thought maybe that was when Tom Watson back in the day signed, I think that was his feeling as well, but for Tom Watson, I think it just didn't click for him. But for you, it feels that the momentum, the kind of training, the way you've performed, I think that the UK as a whole can look at you as a middleweight that's going to really start climbing the ranks. You've got the skill set. You've definitely got the ability. Even in your loss that you had, you weren't it wasn't like you were mullered for 3 rounds, for fuck's sake. You did put on a great performance. So I think the UK should really start looking at Scott yourself and thinking, let's get backing this man up. Let's start realising that this guy's got a lot more potential than maybe some people realise.
Thank you. Obviously, that's good to hear that other people are thinking that. I'm a confident guy. I believe in my abilities, and like I said, I did have that momentum going into UFC. I'll be some good guy. And where I put De Santos away, I've shown I've got power, and I know I showed in my debut I had power, but I was unfortunate enough not to get finished. Say unfortunate enough, credit to him, but he took my best shot, and he got back up for it and battled on. But yeah, again, from the De Santos fight, I am growing day in, day out at ASW. My game's evolving, I'm getting better and better. And like, I want to be in them championship fights, that's where I want to be. I'm not jumping gun and getting ahead of myself. It's a lot of hard work, but I know I can put them away, I know I can put them people away, and I'm ready to make a step.
I think that's the right attitude to have, isn't it? Don't get me wrong, I think... Because with some people, they do come to the UFC and they think that's it, they've landed. They think that's the prize.
Yeah.
Whereas
that's what I mean. And there is a lot of people doing that. And like I said, it's not about that. It's about making. Paycheck. To make money for my family. Of course, and by doing that, you've got to win fights. Of course, you have. And I know, like I said, back when I was a young pro, I had people telling me that I was going to get to UFC and stuff, and I always hoped, but I didn't really believe it. I know it was going to take a lot of hard work, but when I started to put, I never thought, like, I used to watch fights and I didn't think I could beat people in UFC, and that's what. But obviously, I was still a young pro at the time, and I started to check out names on local scene, and then I started to watch people in UFC, and I started to believe I could beat them. And now I'm in UFC, I know I can beat them, and there's fighters that I'm looking at that are higher ranked than me that I know I can finish. I know I can finish them fights, and I know I can take away them wins. So I've got loads of confidence, and I've got loads of ability. I'm just going to carry on forward. I have been.
And I think this is the perfect card to be on.
I was thinking
because we've had a quiet weekend last weekend.
Yeah.
You've got the Raw that Dublin left from last year.
Yeah. There's a lot of attention, media attention on the card.
Like last year, it was everywhere. It was all over the place. So you know that everyone, and the fact that it's on Fight Pass as well, you know that anyone that's anywhere interested in MMA will be watching this weekend. And
100%. I know we said they want the UFC card on last weekend, and obviously that's pushed the media attention and straight onto Dublin a lot sooner, and it's been crazy. Social media's going mad. It's like you say, it's going to be a massive event. It sold out. I think Dana White said it sold out in like 60 seconds, which is crazy. You know what I mean? It shows passion for Irish fans, and it shows how historic Ireland is. Really, I think it's a place. Dublin's a place a lot of people want to visit, and it's a place people like to visit. So everybody comes from around the world and around Europe, and comes to visit Ireland as a part of the journey in USA as well.
It's definitely, and I think with the Fight Pass thing, it's a channel in its own right now, isn't it?
It is. It's almost it's like its own channel. But the thing you got to think about is Dublin. It's a huge card to get onto. I think it's a huge card to get onto and make it a statement. And then Scott, you got the opportunity then. If you're fit enough, you're well enough, you don't eat too many mince pies over Christmas. You've got the London card to look forward to as well. So that's like that would be almost like a nice home card.
Well, there'll be no mince pies for me over Christmas. I've got my eyes on that card.
It's okay. Mike will have them for you.
To be honest, it's in February, so you can afford to have a couple. Just don't go crazy on it.
I'll be in camp over Christmas 100%. If I'm on that London card, I'll be on camp. I'll probably get an opponent before Christmas if I'm on that card, and I'll be flat at it. Like I say, it's an important time to learn them techniques, ready to put into your game. And then when it gets to like 8 weeks, which will be just after Christmas, that's when intensity will really go up. I want a main card slot on on that card. I'm not going to try and hide it. Obviously, I've got work to do here. I've got to go out and deserve it. I deserve that. Go out and show that I deserve that main card slot. So yeah, this is a big weekend for many reasons. I've got to get a job done this weekend, and then I'm back in my mind. I've got London.
Well, that's why. I mean, you could get, if you put a great performance on, you could get another solid finish like you did last time. Bang, London, you can go, I'm a cheater.
No one wants that one.
No.
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
You can finish off, get a great performance this time in Dublin, finish your man, in London, you get Machida.
Well, that'd be a cracking fight, wouldn't it? That'd be well up main card. Like I said, these are the sort of fights I want to be in. I know I can beat these guys. I know I can. Like I said, it's going to be a lot of hard work, and I'm willing to put that work in. I'm ready for a big name in London.
That's it, Scott. That's the thing about the middleweight division. When I look at it, there's so many names there, and when you think, I think, wow, Scott could fight X, Y, and Z. I think, fucking hell, those guys are just all. I just look at these guys as like kind of not idolise, but in a way, I kind of just as a bit of a fan, so to speak.
Do you know what?
I think
I sense London's going to be a mega card as well.
Yeah,
I think they're going to make something special.
Do you want me to tell you what I think about when I look at the division?
Go on.
I think mainly a lot of old men. There's not many young men in the top 10 in the middleweight division. So what UFC wanting, obviously they want that fighter to break through and be that next generation of fighters. Of course they do. There's a lot of people coming towards the end of their career. I bet you over 5 of that top 10 are over 35.
You got your Romero's. He's not going to be around for too long. I don't think. He's. I think he's got a couple of fights in him. To be fair,
he'll have a short MMA career.
2 years left in him. But to be fair, he's an absolute unit.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a handful of fighters. I like saying Machida as well. I don't think Machida. We're going to see Machida around for super long.
You are quite accurate in your statement there, because when you look at it, you think to yourself, well, to be honest, a lot of these guys have either had a long strike force career, or they have been out in the UFC forever. There's only a few that like Chris Weidman. Okay, he's fairly young.
Well, he's in his early 30s, 31, 32, I think he is.
But he is a bit injury prone as well.
He's got the, what should we call his knees?
Yeah, they're fucked.
They're fucked, yeah, that's the medical condition.
So...
yeah, that's pretty much what they are.
I'm no doctor. That's my opinion anyway. Yeah. But yeah, so you are kind of right there, and I think it's something like, if you put a few fights together, you could find yourself sprinting towards that top, because you'd have people that are probably one loss away from retiring at the moment. And you know what I mean? So, the race to that sort of top 15, top 10, could be quite a short one.
Yeah, it could be a short one if you put the right performance.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Look, I know how quick careers rocket in UFC. It happens fast. It's not a short-term thing. It only takes one more finish like that, and obviously my profile's going to go through the roof. I know that. Get a win against the top 15 guy in the same fashion, and it's just going to go crazy. Everybody's going to be screaming title shot, this, that, over. Obviously, there's still work to do after that. Do you know what I mean? I'm not denying that there's not work to do, but I know what situation I'm in. I've just got to, like I said, I've got to deal with these guys how I know I can, and then move on. Exactly,
Scott. You're in a really great position. Obviously, you feel confident as well. You're happy. You're in a great place, and you've got a huge kind of opportunity really to showcase not just to Mike, but obviously just to the world that you're ready to say.
So no pressure, really.
Yeah, no pressure. No pressure at all.
No, there really is no pressure at all at the moment. Like I say. Life's good. I've got a good training camp. I've got a good family around me, and everything's going well. Nothing can really go wrong. I've just got to go in there and do my job now. Camp's been awesome, and like I said, it's about Saturday night now.
It is indeed, Scott. So how can people on social media, buddy, jump on to give you like a follow, either on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever, MySpace?
Yeah, on Twitter and Instagram, it's Scott Askham 1 at Scott Askham 1. I'm doing a road to Dublin as well, which I've been obviously that's a road to Dublin. We're in Dublin now, but I'm doing a lot of fight week stuff on Snapchat, which is Askham UFC. That's ASKHM UFC. yeah, I'll be doing loads of cool Snapchats throughout the week. Some will be boring, some will be entertaining. Wins, everything, stuff like that. We'll be getting some stuff out there. So yeah, that'll be the things that you can follow me on. And Facebook, I don't know what my Facebook URL is, but obviously my name's Scott Askham.
Right, folks. We'll put the picture of Scott on our Facebook page as usual. We'll put the links on all his handles that he has that you can jump on social media side. So you can always do that.
Yeah, cool.
And use Snapchats, less of the dick pics.
Yeah.
Pardon?
Hold back on the dick pics.
Let's hold back on the dick pics.
Yeah. There'll be none of that. I'll have to find myself out when I go out after as well. I don't do any stupid Snapchats. Like last time, me and my mate were to yourself, right, Edward dildos, foot laugh, but no stuff like that. Be a bit more professional.
They're the best ones.
He's only joking, people.
Oh.
Bring him on.
Yeah.
And Scott, what about your coaches? You want to give a shout out to your coaches, training partners, obviously your family and stuff?
Obviously, all my coaches, ASW, teammates, Rob Lloyd. I said teammates with Rob Lloyd. I mean, I'll go through coaches first. Darren Morris and Rob Lloyd, awesome coaches. I also travel down to AVT and train with Cam and Danny on a Wednesday. They're a massive help. And Ian Jones on a Sunday. And then my strength and conditioning coach, Jack Waldron. Obviously doing all my strength and conditioning there, getting me in peak condition. Like to thank all them. And I've just opened a new gym myself, ASW Amsworth. I'd like to thank everybody there for the support. It's been his first month open. It's been a cracking month, and we're looking to grow each month, obviously, and get better and better there. All my family, my wife, my daughter. I can't thank them enough. My mum and dad. There's too many to mention, but I think I've got all the main ones in there. Sorry if I've missed anybody. And obviously my sponsors. I've had so many foods on board this time, which has been helped me with my diet, which has been a massive help. We've got Safe Jaws, which has got the best mouthpiece in business. Oil Mill MOT Centre, Millennium Motor Spares, Land Engineering Services, TNS Builders, The Injury Clinic, Heavy Duty, Hudson Roofing. Thank you, Hudson Roofing, because you're a cracking sponsor, and thank you. I ain't got a piece of paper with me. I think that's them all. No, UCC Utilities, MCC Utilities. Yeah. Thank you all for your help. Again, sorry if I missed you all. Sorry if I missed anyone. Sorry. I've just done it off the top of my head, but I appreciate all your help.
You all got Nike or Adidas sponsoring you?
Oh yeah, Reebok as well. Obviously, yeah, Reebok. Yeah. Damn, I do forget Reeboks. Obviously, it's my first time out here. I've just got my kit now. Reebok, yeah, they also sponsor me. I'm really. I always get really nervous at this point because it's unprofessional. I should know all my sponsors and I should have them wrote down. But obviously, interviews it's just been done on short notice, and I didn't get a chance to sort that out. But hopefully, I missed any.
It's fine. We've had like Stevie Ray on, and he
actually heard a bit of paper getting unfolded.
It's like a shopping list he gets out. Honestly, yeah. It's not easy. We've had guests on before. They've got some people have so many. It's impossible to keep up with them. So don't. We never say good luck because, mate, it's not about luck, like you said. It's about how hard you bust your ass in the gym. So
thank you.
Have a great fight against Jocko. And we'll be looking forward to the whole card. Really, it's hard.
50 G's. Bring back 50 G's for yourself.
Yeah.
That is the plan. I'm getting close to that 50 G's. Obviously in Sweden, even though I lost, I thought I was pretty close to it, and then I got even closer with a nice finish in Berlin. I can taste it, but I'm not worried about that. I mean, it's keeping me hungry. I think about it in every session. I think about it in the fight course still, but like I said, it keeps me hungry. It keeps that fire going because obviously it's a lot of money, and it'd be nice to get one.
It would be, yeah, right.
It's less than 30 grand once you got it though. So just think, it's hardly worth it really.
Yeah. Good point when you convert it.
Yeah, I wouldn't get too excited like.
Right, Scott. We'll let you go. We'll let you go and have some fun in Dublin with your team, and obviously you've got a lot of other media obligations, bits to do. And like you said, mate, just look forward to Saturday night.
Yeah, have a
Thank you. Cheers.
awesome time.
And there was Scott. So looking forward, like I say, to him performing. In fact, a lot of names performing.
Yeah.
I should get the win. I think he'll get the finish probably in the first or second
Yeah,
round.
he'll
to
get
be
the finish.
Brutally honest with you.
Yeah, get people talking.
And the main fight on the prelim, so to speak, you want to call them, is Stevie Ray versus Mikel Lebut. Mikel Lebut.
Yeah, it's he's he's last in Glasgow,
Well,
and
both of them fought on the Glasgow
yeah,
card.
we both were.
No,
and
both of them fought on the
yeah,
Glasgow
that's
card.
what I mean. Yeah,
Right.
and I wasn't overly impressed with Lebut. It was he just seemed to be
Well, Lebut won a decision against the guy who came in to step in last
yeah,
short
exactly,
notice.
and he just seemed to, I don't know, he just ran out of ideas a little.
I think Stevie's going to have too much power, and it's going to be a first round win for Stevie Ray. He's going to
Well,
absolutely go through him.
I'm definitely excited for a finish. Put it that way.
Yeah, Stevie's going to finish him. Now we're going to go to the main card. We're going to start with Nicholas Dolby versus Darren Till.
Yeah,
Which
we have no idea with that one.
I purely think this could be fight of the night. This
This
has got
really is. You might as well
hell
just
of a
put two
fight.
names in a hat and pull out your winner.
great
because-
matchup, great work from the UFC. This is people who don't know these guys. It's a hell of a fight. The thing is,
I was
Dolby's
going to say that's the scary thing. They're fighting in the UFC, and people don't really know what to expect. They will for
Nick-
people
yeah.
outside of the UK because they're known to UK.
well, Darren Till's not. He
Well,
fought
no,
he
I
fought
know.
down Brazil.
He
fought, he earned his
But I mean, Nicholas Dolby. Nicholas Dolby was a champion in the UK.
Cage Warriors welterweight champ. Is what he was, and he's 14-0, and Darren Till's 13-0, and Dolby wins more by like a decision. He's tough as nails, and Darren Till's got more finishes. It's a crazy matchup. Who have you picked?
I am going for Darren.
You picked Darren. I picked Nicholas. I picked Nicholas because
Anything
he
could
is-
happen.
Yeah, I picked Nicholas because he is. I think he's had tougher opponents, and he can take a hit and he can grind a guy out.
Do you know what? I'm not going to argue with anything on that one because the fight is
It's a hell
very,
of a
very
fight.
well matched.
Hell of a fight. I would not.
You know,
If Darren won, it would not shock me. One.
what I don't believe is I don't believe it will be easy for either.
I don't think it's going to be a boring fight.
No, it'll be entertaining, and I think it'll be close.
Now, next up we have Reza Medadi versus Norman Park. So interesting bout because we've got one lad who's proper gangster, Reza Medadi. He's also
Probably a bit too
he's
gangster.
been quite funny on Twitter with Norman Park having a bit of a having a go, like trying to antagonise him
Twitter
in a
tennis.
way, but they're quite humorous actually, and Norman Park bit back. But Reza Medadi, he like we say, people, he went to jail because of burglary, got caught, stole like £150,000 worth of expensive handbags or something like that. I'm not sure what it was.
Listen
And
to sell on like
I doubt it. And he last fought though 2013 April. Got a submission against Michael Johnson. Now that's one hell of a fucking win to have on your record.
Yeah, it's legit.
He is a legit guy. He is a very high level wrestler, and he is someone you've really got to look out for. He's a dangerous opponent, though he has been out like we say, for a
So
while.
with that in mind, who are you
Norman,
picking?
and Norman Park has lost 2 in a row.
Pressure's on.
Pressure on home crowd. You can't get the third because the UFC are like they'll happily just boot you out, especially in the 155
Big stamp
division.
on the pink slip.
In the 155 division, that's a big problem. Because
Yeah,
a lot of guys in that
Yeah,
division
it's full.
absolutely
Full
stacked.
to the rim. So with that in mind, who have you gone for?
Norman Park.
Me too.
Yeah.
I think that 2 years off is going to be a killer.
I think it's more. It's
And
more than
also,
2 years. I think it's 2.5 years.
And also with Norman, even though he's lost, he's been in with legit guys.
Well, he kind of got robbed because he was in Brazil.
Yeah,
the
he
first
got
one.
he got robbed in one, but when he fought,
Trinaldo was his last one he had.
yeah, it's
I worry about he's had split decisions. I just think he could do more. I think he will do more in this fight. I think he will be able to use because obviously Razzy's got the wrestling, but with the judo that Norman Park's got, he could use the defender to kind of counter the wrestling.
And do you know what? I think his best performance in the UFC was when he fought in Dublin.
Norman.
Yeah,
Aye.
he came out and he was like a man possessed.
Yeah,
in
he
that
was.
fight.
Yeah, I think it will. I think it might.
He rose to the occasion. I think he just absorbed that.
You might, but do you know what? He's not travelling to Brazil this time. I think that might take a toll. You know, it might make a difference.
You know what? He's not even having to get on a boat. He's just travelling down from
It's
Northern
like
Ireland.
It's like Neil Seary said. It took a toll on him going to Vegas. It's
Yeah.
surprising what it does to your body. So I think Norman Park probably should steal this. I think because do you know what favours? If it goes to the latter rounds, it will favour Norman Park.
Yeah.
You know, he's done it a couple of times, went 3 rounds.
Yeah, win or lose, he's been in there in tough fights and had to dig.
Well, he's got the condition for the 3 rounds.
Yeah.
He's more fight sharp compared to my daddy. Who's when he gets to the 3 round, he probably feel
2
like
years out.
arms are getting a bit tired now.
Yeah, do you know what? No amount of training can do.
No, it's a different
fighting
fight is different. Co-main event, which has got changed because it was originally Madadi and Park because of the Miocic Von Rothwell getting removed,
which is not happening anymore.
But then everyone kind of kicked up a stink and online, and it got changed to Paddy Houlihan versus Lewis Schmolka. Super interesting 125 bout this. Paddy Houlihan,
yeah,
who is
game as anything.
very game, 2-fight win streak. Lewis Schmolka also 2-fight win streak.
Yep, can mix it.
And is a very talented fighter. He's just it's a hell of a fight.
Yeah, gave Neil plenty
I
of
don't
problems.
see a winner with a finish. I see this being a decision.
Oh no,
I see this being a decision.
It'll be a hard-earned decision.
Who are you going with then?
I am picking Paddy.
Okay, that's fine. I've picked Schmolka.
Yeah, could easily go. It's another Andy Till.
Yeah, I picked Schmolka on this one only because I think the Chris Cadiles, was it Chris Cadiles or whatever his name is? The fight that Paddy had where he got shown, like it showed there that Paddy isn't quite there, and I think Lewis Schmolka could probably get that.
But it's good to lose those fights to show you where
It is.
you're failing, and
No,
as long as you can improve on those areas.
It is.
And Schmolka did look beatable in the fight against Neil.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, and I'm going to go now to the main event. Joe Duffy, Dustin Poirier.
I know this is a treat.
Just when I saw that fight get announced, I was gutted because
Both sound guys.
huge fan of both.
You don't want to see either guy lose.
Huge fan of both of them, and I was like, I can't believe they're matching these guys up, but that has to happen.
Yeah.
So we have Joe Duffy, who's blown himself onto the UFC scene with two first round finishes, one a KO, one a submission.
Yeah, he's kind of crept on. You know what I mean? With the only thing that sort of made the loud noise is his performances. He doesn't make the loud noise.
Oh. Well, he started to pipe up a bit more, and then Dustin Poirier as well is on a kill as well.
Yeah, he's looked brilliant since he's gone back up.
So glad he's back at 155.
I mean, let's be honest, he looked alright at featherweight, but since he's gone back up, he's can't fault.
And Poirier, he's knocking his opponents out. So you've got two guys, very talented. I've gone for Duffy.
Me too.
Now, why have you went for Duffy?
Super close. I think Duffy, his striking is pinpoint.
I think that's the difference.
Yet the striking isn't even his bread and butter.
No.
He's
a submission man.
Oh yeah. Big time.
Yeah.
And yet,
I think that's
he
the problem.
looks like a striker. He gets in there and looks like a striker.
Well, because he did the pro boxing.
Good luck taking him down. And
well, the thing is, I think because Duffy's on that pro boxing, he's done it for years. His hands are a lot better than Poirier's will be, and obviously the grappling. He's just going to.
Do you know what he
cause
can?
Nightmares.
And with the fact that how good he is on the ground, he can really commit with the striking.
Yeah.
Because if he does end up on the ground, he won't give a shit.
No, he won't. And I do think
that's nothing against Dustin.
No.
Who I think's legit in his own right. I just feel that. I mean, he has been submitted. He has been knocked out. I mean, okay, I know Duffy's been submitted. But I think he'll have what it takes in this fight.
I think Duffy will too. I love Poirier, but I just think Duffy is really of that high level caliber, and I can see him.
I don't expect it to be over in the first round like it was with the Conor fight.
No,
because I do think Dustin is better at this weight.
155. Yeah, I think he's better at this weight. Yeah, I do too.
But I do think that Duffy will get to him.
I think Duffy will just take. Duffy doesn't rush the fight though.
No.
Duffy takes his time,
and
he picks his shots.
And the thing is, he's got 5 rounds to do it.
Yeah, he's 5 rounds. Pace it. You're not going to see someone blitz it. Now we're going to go to the roundup, which we're going to start with the cull. The UFC. Yeah. The rumor was 50 fighters were getting cut.
Yeah,
and
that's like Rambo turning up in town. Yeah.
And so far, it's been happening. A lot of fighters are getting knocked off one after another.
Can you imagine if you're sitting there with 2 losses on you? You think, or you know, like you've had
1 and 2 or anything.
You've had a few close decisions and you've got 2 losses.
You switch your phone off.
You'd be like that. I'm not opening the mail.
And you wouldn't, yeah.
Sean Shelby again.
You've had Eddie Truck Jordan. He left. He even announced he was going down to welterweight. You had he was a tough boy. You also had Mark Van Buren from there as well. He was a tough boy. Trevino, he was cut as well after his loss to Sage and failed marijuana test.
Yep.
You know, you've got Machad. You've got a handful of fighters actually.
Marcus Brimage
as well.
Who, it's a shame to see him go, but it's not a surprise.
No, it's not.
Super nice guy, but he had lost a few.
Yeah, he just. I think he's not there.
And
yeah,
he's getting stopped in the first as well.
Yeah, he's getting finished. He needs to maybe go back, reevaluate, look at things, maybe change things up, mix it up, and come back again. But you've got, you know, quite a few names, like we say, Saul Paleli, we thought got cut, but he actually retired. There's a handful of people around.
Now, it's not the end of the world, because there's plenty of promotions out there with their nets out, ready to catch these guys.
Yes.
And give them another chance. And
well, have that UFC name behind them as well going into that fight.
So, you know, it's a bit of pulling power.
Yeah.
You've got Titan that are doing fantastic at the moment.
Well, there's a couple of fighters that will maybe have left the UFC that maybe the UFC might went, look, go get a couple of wins. If you go to Titan, we keep an eye on you. We know you're getting good competition.
The likes of Titan, where they have a good relationship with the UFC. Yeah. So you go to Titan, you know there's an easy route back. Easy route back. All you got to do is get those wins. Okay, if you're later in your career, you might say, you know what, I've had my fights in the UFC. I'm not too worried about going back. Let's go and earn some money before I retire. Yeah. Get yourself over to Bellator and whatever.
You said to Bellator, get some sponsorship in and stuff like that.
Or even like, you know, there's other opportunities out there. In fact, there's lots of opportunities. It's a good time to be an MMA fighter.
Yeah, it is actually.
There used to be a time where you got cut from the UFC. You thought, oh shit, that's it. That's me pay gone.
But it's okay now.
But now it's not so bad.
And now we're gonna talk to one person who didn't get cut. The only cut he got was on his shoulder from surgery.
Yeah.
Ian McCall, Uncle Creepy, joined us for, like we say, short period of time because he had a class to teach. But he did say he'll be back.
Yeah, and he'll actually help us
host the whole thing
even more.
Even more professional than he already is. So here is Ian McCall joining us. Okay, Mr. McCall, you're with us. We're gonna have a little bit of a chat because there has been a load of cuts made in the UFC, and you are not one of them.
Yes.
Thank God.
Fuck.
Yeah, the only cut you've had is in your shoulder.
Yeah, exactly. Too many injuries.
Yeah. So
I was thinking.
Go on, mate.
I was thinking about it the other day. I've had 4 surgeries since being in the UFC. I've had 2 infections, and I tore my hip and groin real bad.
Yeah, but sexual infections don't count.
The infections were from before you got sponsored by the condom firm, weren't they?
And it was, of all people who did it, Carla Esparza.
She gave you the infection.
Right, I think she's
then the infection came out.
Was it tonsils or groin?
It all makes sense now.
I reckon she got it from Felice Herring and then passed it on. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Felice just has to sneeze on you and you have AIDS.
There you go.
Yeah, John would let her sneeze all over him.
Yeah, just don't let her sneeze on your dick. She just grosses me the fuck out. She's just like a bulldog.
Yeah.
And you got...
She's a slut. You know, everyone's actually thinking, really?
Really? Sound? What's the number again?
You're not putting anyone off at the moment, you know.
And so you got recent lot of fighters cut, but you had a couple of retirements. Nick Newell retired. What do you make of Nick Newell retiring?
You know what? Nick's a badass.
Yeah.
He's a fucking super athlete. He's a damn good fighter. But Nick Newell will never be. He'll never be UFC world champion. I don't even think he'll ever be Bellator world champion. And that's not to slight him because he's a fucking badass. But I think he knows. And on top of that, the fact that he has one arm, you know, we saw he was still able to compete at a super high level. I mean, he could be able to compete in UFC or anywhere. But you know, he's probably just being realistic, and then plus all the injuries. He's just saying how injured he's been. Believe me, I know the injury bug. Yeah. Again, 4 surgeries. Should have had 5. My hip, I'm gonna need a new hip eventually. 2 infections. Fucking, you know, like gnarly shit. And it's hard. This sport's really bad for you.
I was gonna say, because that maybe make you think about stuff and about your health as well. When he said it himself, that's what I got. That was
of course. You know, because he's 2 years younger than I am. I have a kid. You know, I raised by myself. I want I want a bigger family.
What, taller?
Yeah, it's taller than me.
Yeah, wait another couple of years, you'll have a bigger family.
Well, see, my new girlfriend is 5'7", I think 5'8". I'm only 5'5". The internet says I'm 5'5". She's got 3
So
inches.
she's fully grown then, yeah?
I figured, you know, if I knock this one up, I'll probably, you know, maybe have a taller kid. I don't know.
Yeah, 5'6".
Yes.
Yeah, but don't forget she'll take part of your genetics sort of thing. I mean, we're average height anyway. Well, you're a little bit shorter than me, aren't you?
No, you're not average height. You're not average height, Mike. And the other thing was Sol Paleli retired as well. I was a bit surprised at that. How about you? Badass heavyweight.
38.
Yeah, but heavyweights, fucking hell.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I honestly, this is the first time I've ever said this. If I have like one more big injury, I'll probably retire.
Yeah.
I mean, just because, dude, I'm fucked. My whole right side. So I was thinking about this as well. When I popped my knee in college and had to take the season off, was my right knee. I tore my right hip and right groin. My right hand is, as you know, a fucking mess. I fractured and dislocated my right elbow. Now I had full surgery from rotator cuff to 2 labrums and a bicep tendon and bicep muscle surgery. So all at once. So like, if I have one more injury, I'll probably just call it quits because, fuck, man, this sucks.
Yeah, and the body can only take so much anyway, can't it? Last thing you want to be doing is be maybe 40 or 50 and you just can't move.
Well, the time you should be spending training and fighting, you're spending recovering, aren't you, sort of thing, or rehabbing.
If UFC paid for like really advanced shit like stem cell, if they just pumped us full of like all this real cool natural shit like stem cell, our careers would be so much longer. We'd be so much healthier, less brain damage, less body damage. I mean, like, so much shit, but they're fucking cheap asses when it comes to medical stuff. You know, I mean, it's cool we have insurance, but it's not that cool because the insurance should be way better. It should.
Well, considering it's a combat sport,
UFC,
yeah.
Great, fucking sweet, but it should be better.
Well, look at the NFL. The NFL, it's a lot higher standard. The insurance will be, but it's still a contact sport, but it's nowhere near the kind of contact you guys are taking. No,
and I mean it's. All those big sports organizations have fucking perfect insurance.
Yeah.
Like you know, the big. I'm sure the soccer teams by you guys or football teams by you guys. Out here, they have MRI machines in the stadium.
Yeah,
it's
crazy.
Pretty standard.
Yeah, they literally go off the pitch and get it scanned straight away. It's nuts, isn't it? Absolutely insane.
Wait. It's like PT actually bought in a mobile MRI unit.
Yeah,
didn't they?
yeah. They did. They bring it in for like kind of big events, but you think the UFC would maybe? Well, they did talk about building that thing in Las Vegas, haven't they? About that.
They're still talking about it. Maybe they are building, and I know they're building a new facility.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what's all going to be there, but I mean, it's supposed to be fucking state of the art and pretty awesome, and I hope it really happens because fuck, we need it, man. Yeah. And I'm in a really good place, you know, like. I've got my 2 gyms are within a few miles of each other. I have my main gym, strength and conditioning gym. My doctor's office is down the fucking street. My cryo place is in between both of them. I got a Whole Foods right. There's everything. Which Whole Foods is expensive, but you know I have everything that I need around here to be physically good, and you know it could be better.
Yeah, I have to say the cryo gym. I'd love to try that out. Do you know what? There's nowhere. There isn't one anywhere near where we are. But that is one thing.
None on the island, is there?
Oh, I'd love to try that shit out. It looks awesome. And the other thing I thought about was Brendan Shrub mentioned. He said, do you think this is true? Right, first, he reckons he sold more Fighter and the Kid T-shirts than the UFC fight kits, the Reebok T-shirts.
Guaranteed he did.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, too right.
Because we're thinking
those clothes are ugly.
And
think about it. Nobody wants to work out in that shit. Like, unless you're a sponsored CrossFit douchebag, nobody wants to wear Reebok for one. And you made it ugly. It's fuck you. You know, I'm sure the material's great. I'm sure it performs well. But you made a hideous fucking product. That's shame on you.
Yeah.
You know, like, you fucking made us look like dickheads. And I have my own merchandise coming out. I already have it on the website, but I had a new company take over everything. And we've got a design staff, all this shit. I'm going to make way more money off my own merch than I'll ever make off Reebok.
Oh, nice.
And,
well, some of the local guys, what they've been doing is some of the home fighters for the UK, they have been actually making their own fan T-shirts to wear at the fights. And they've been knocking them off for about $10 so.
Maybe $17, $18, maybe $15.
Yeah, $15 each. And they said they've been making loads of money off that. Well, you know, considering what no one's going to buy a Reebok one. Let's be honest.
They're
especially
too much. The price.
You know, and did
you hear about Ronda Rousey?
Ooh, I don't know.
I'm going to drop a Ronda Rousey fact. She sold 50,000 of her shirts, of that Do Nothing Bitch shirt.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I heard about that.
50,000. So she made it at least. I know the numbers. She made $1 million at least on that fucking deal.
Crazy, wasn't it? Yeah, I heard about the T-shirts. Yeah, absolutely insane.
I must admit, that's the best thing she ever said.
Yeah.
That saying will stick forever. That will, you know, people forget where that came from.
And Reebok must be sitting there just thinking, motherfucker, we could have done that.
We could have done with Arsenal. What to say?
Yeah, but Reebok won't put that on there. But there's another thing that, you know, they, like you say, they look horrible. And I don't like the look of them either. I think I posted a picture because I saw the Karate Hottie having a UFC debut. There's a picture of her in the back in the changing rooms with the coaches, and it reminded me of the Backstreet Boys song. All the, you know, when the Blink-182 take their piss out of it, and they're all in their white suits. I was like, that fucking reminded me just of that. So I got a picture and did like a little meme of the two of them together, and it looks just alike. Oh, it's just terrible. But what can you do? The UFC is stuck with that deal now for what, six years, something. It's not even had its first year.
Be interesting to see if they renew it.
Yeah.
That'll be the proof, wouldn't it, in the pudding? I don't think so. I think they're already sort of regretting it a bit, but I don't know.
Yeah, 'cause everyone hates it.
Exactly.
You know?
And when the figures come in,
I have business opportunities that I'm doing now. That could potentially make me a lot of fucking money, like millions. If that shit happens, fucking, I'm out of here. You know, if I'm making fucking $500,000 a year, $1 million a year, even, I don't know, man. Like, I'm sure I'll have, you know, I'll fight out my contract, have another 5 fights maybe. Fuck, I don't know. But it's gonna take a back seat. Like, you know, if I'm making fucking, let's say $500,000 a year, I'll still coach here because I have the program because I love it. But I might just be fucking over it if I'm just like, yeah, this is fucking no. I can train and still beat the shit out of the coolest fucking best fighters on the planet, but I make fucking 10 times the money. You know?
Yeah, that's the key, isn't it? It's having that, you'll have that regular income. That's the other thing, because at the moment, because if you're not fighting, you're not earning.
Yeah, and I live in a really expensive area, really fucking expensive. You know, so it's like, and I have a kid, and I obviously, like I said, fucking, let's say I marry my girlfriend, we want to have more kids. And I want to fucking...
And the problem is, kids, they don't stop eating, and they keep growing, and it's annoying.
Yeah, I like the family life, you know? Like, I like the shit, and I want to keep doing it.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the thing. If you got that stability of that money coming in, you don't want to think, why put yourself out there to come home with a black eye and a messed up face? When
you look at how many thousands are in the sport now. There's loads of people in the sport now, and how many of them are making a good wage, like a good wage. I'm not saying a fantastic wage. I'm not talking about $1 million. I mean, like a good wage. It's not many. Yeah. Most of them have got second jobs.
Yeah.
You
Well, you
know.
got to look. Miocic, he's this far away from a title shot, and he's still a firefighter. It's insane, dude. But here we are. What do you think about? Have you heard about the New Jersey of doing the sound booth for the judges?
A sound booth?
Yeah, they're going to a soundproof booth, and they're judging in a soundproof booth.
So no cheering, no fan.
No, like
in,
home, so no potential home advantage and all that stuff. So they're going to be in like a booth.
I like it.
We thought
Yeah.
so too. We mentioned it.
We said it
ages
should have
ago.
been happening a long time ago.
Yeah.
Well, we said, like, to have a judge watching the screen, somewhere else. Judges locked away in a room,
Yeah.
watching a screen,
and then bang,
muted
it's just
sound.
totally mutual. Then it's a lot better. I think it's a better idea, and also the judges can't get anything thrown at them for making the fucking wrong decision as well.
Well, and also they get different angles,
Yeah, and that's the thing, because they can get the different camera angles. I think it's a great idea myself.
I do. But anyway, I gotta warm these motherfuckers up, and I will. I'll get back on here when I have them done.
Dude, shoot off, get coaching in. Thank you for giving us some of your time, buddy. We'll get you back on again, and we'll get We'll get you hosting the whole thing with us. All right.
Yeah.
And here is Ian McCall giving his views and thoughts on issues.
Little mention on the Reebok.
Yep. And if he gets to 500,000 as well.
I wish he didn't
He's
hold
gone.
back.
I know. I think he's he holds it all in. And do you know what? I think suppressing those feelings and emotions aren't good for his health.
No, I think he's somebody that just has to say as it is, because the guy's entertaining. I don't care what anyone says. He's entertaining in the cage and out of the cage.
Yes.
So, with Ian, you're either going to like him or you don't. If you don't like him, it's probably because you don't understand him.
Yes, it will be because you don't understand
And
him.
what I like is when he comes on, he speaks his mind, and let's be honest, that's what you want from people. You want an honest.
Yes.
You ask an honest question, want an honest answer. There's no bullshit with him, so I can listen to Ian all day long.
Absolutely, I know.
He says it how it is. He's not worried about. Is he going to get a phone call afterwards from Dana White saying, "Could you please shut up about Reebok?" Or,
yeah, we love talking to Ian. We love having him on off air as well. He's one of them guys that I happily talk to without the podcast. He's one of them guys I consider
honesty, funny, educational.
I'd even call him a friend. It feels like that because we chat away offline on there.
John doesn't have many friends, so we'll let him have that one.
I'll have one, and Mike's not a friend.
No,
and that was basically a great chat with him, and it was brief, but it was great. But what was even better is the fact that we had great guests this week. We had Nick Newell. Cap off to him, and
best of luck to Nick in his retirement. I'm sure whatever he goes, puts his efforts into, he'll be successful.
He'll be grand, and Scott Askham, great chat.
Yeah, excited about this weekend.
Yeah. And obviously Ian McCall. So three great people on there for you people.
And ourselves.
I suppose ourselves.
A pat on the back for myself.
Yeah, and we'll be back next week to talk about what we've been up to and
how good UFC Dublin's going to be.
You'll be at UFC Dublin. I'll be fighting myself in Middlesbrough, competing. So
loyal all the way.
We have both got awesome weekend coming up, and we'll be back all very shortly. And we hope you all enjoyed this week. We certainly did. We had a great time. And we just want to get you, before you go, jump on your social networking sites and give these people a follow. We have
MMA Scotland.
We have on Facebook UFC Wreckage. Also, their website and Twitter is MMA Wreckage.
We also have MMA UK, and their Twitter handle is We Are MMA UK.
On Facebook, we have Fighting and MMA.
And on Facebook and Twitter, we have The Real MMA Talk.
And then last but not least, on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, they're funny. They talk about MMA. It's funny MMA. Jump on. They'll give you a giggle. And let's finish off with thank you very much, everyone. We will be back very soon, won't we, Mike?
Yep, definitely. Thank you very much and goodbye.